Welcome back to our Chronological Bible in a Year reading of the HalleluYah Scriptures translation of the Bible. And today we're doing Job chapters 1 through 5. Without further ado, here we go. Job 1. And again, keep in mind these are Hebrew names, Hebrew translations of words. But yes, here we go. Job 1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and straight, and one who revered Elohim and turned aside from evil. And 7 sons and 3 daughters were born to him, and his possessions were 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and a very large body of servants, so that this man was the greatest of all the people of the east. And his sons went and had a feast in the house of each on his day, and sent and invited their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it came to be, when the days of feasting had gone round, that Job would send and kadesh them. That's bless, right?
I don't know, I feel like choosing it's a lot.
Verse 5. I'm pretty sure it's bless. Let's sanctify them, mine says.
Yeah.
Okay. And he would rise early in the morning and offer burnt offerings, a number of them all. For Job said, "It might be that my sons have sinned and cursed Elohim in their hearts." This Job always did. And the day came to be that the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahuwah, and Hasatan, Satan, also came among them. And Yahuwah said to Hasatan, "From where do you come?" And Hasatan answered Yahuwah and said, "From diligently searching in the earth, and from walking up and down in it." And Yahuwah said to Hasatan, "Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and straight man, one who reveres Elohim and turns aside from evil?" And Hasatan answered Yahuwah and said, "Is Job revering Elohim for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him and around his household and around all that he has on every side? You have, Barak, blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But stretch out your hand, please, and strike all that he has, if he would not curse you to your face." And Yahuwah said to Hasatan, "See, all that he has is in your hand, only do not lay a hand on him." And Hasatan went out of the presence of Yahuwah. And the day came to be, when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in the house of their brother, the firstborn. And the messenger, an angel, came to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding alongside them, when Sheba fell upon them and took them away. And they smote the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to inform you." While he was still speaking, another also came and said, "The fire of Elohim fell from the Shamaim and burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I alone have escaped to inform you." While he was still speaking, another also came and said, "The Kasdites formed 3 bands and made a raid on the camels and took them away, and they smote the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to inform you." While he was still speaking, another also came and said, "Your sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in the house of their brother the firstborn, and see, a great wind came from the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell on the young men, and they are dead. I alone have escaped to inform you." Then Job rose up and tore his robe and shaved his head, and he fell to the ground and did obeisance. And he said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I return there. Yahuwah has given, and Yahuwah has taken away. Baruch, blessed be the name of Yahuwah." And all this, Job did not sin, nor ascribe wickedness unto Elohim. Chapter 2. Again the day came to be that the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahuwah, and Hasatan also came among them to present himself before Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said to Hasatan, "From where do you come?" And Hasatan answered Yahuwah and said, "From diligently searching in the earth, and from walking up and down in it." And Yahuwah said to Hasatan, "Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a perfect and straight man, one who reveres Elohim and turns aside from evil? And still he holds fast to his integrity, although you incited me against him to destroy him without cause." And Hasatan answered Yahuwah and said, "Skin for skin, and all that a man has he would give for his life. But stretch out your hand, please, and strike his bone and his flesh, if he would not curse you to your face." And Yahuwah said to Hasatan, "See, he is in your hand, only spare his life." And Hasatan went out from the presence of Yahuwah, and smote Job with loathsome sores from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. And he took a potsherd with which to scrape himself while he sat in the midst of the ashes. And his wife said to him, "Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse Elohim and die." But he said to her, "You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Indeed, should we accept good from Elohim and not accept evil?" And all this Job did not sin with his lips. And 3 of the friends of Job heard of all this evil that came on him, and each one came from his own place: Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. And they met together to come to sympathize with him and to comfort him. And they lifted up their eyes from a distance, and they did not recognize him. And they lifted their voices and wept. And each one tore his robe and sprinkled dust on his head toward the Shamayim, the heavens. Then they sat down with him on the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and no one spoke a word to him, for they saw that the pain was very great. Chapter 3. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. And Job spoke and said, "Let the day perish on which I was born, and the night it was said, a male child has been conceived. Let that day be darkness. Let not HalleluYah from above seek for it, nor let light shine upon it. Let darkness and the shadow of death buy it back. Let a cloud dwell on it, and let all that blackens the day frighten it. That night let darkness seize it. Let it not be included among the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months. Look, let that night be silent. Let no singing come to it. Let those who curse it curse that day, who are ready to stir up Leviathan. Let the stars of its twilight be dark. Let it wait for light, but have none. And let it not see the eyelashes of the dawn. For it did not shut up the doors of my body, nor hide trouble from my eyes. Why did I not die from the womb, come forth from the body, and expire? Why were there knees to receive me, or breasts for me to nurse on? For now I would have been lying in peace. I would have slept, then I would have been at rest, with sovereigns, kings, and counselors of the earth, who built ruins for themselves, or with rulers who had gold, who filled their houses with silver, or as a hidden, untimely birth, as infants who never saw light. There the wicked cease raging, and there the weary are at rest. The prisoners rest together, they do not hear the voice of the oppressor. The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Why does he give light to the sufferer, and life to the bitter of being, who are waiting for death, but it does not come, and search for it more than treasures? Who rejoice exceedingly, they are glad when they find the grave. Why does he give light to a man whose way has been hidden, and whom HalleluYah has hedged in? For my sighing comes before I eat, and my groanings pour out like water. For that which I greatly feared has come upon me, and that which I dreaded has overtaken me. I have not been at ease, nor have I been undisturbed, nor been at rest, yet trouble comes. Chapter 4. And Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, If one tries a word with you, would you become impatient? But who is able to withhold himself from speaking? See, you have instructed many, and you have made weak hands strong. Your words have raised up him who is stumbling, and you have strengthened the weak knees. But now it has come to you, and you are impatient. It strikes you, and you are troubled. Is not your reverence your trust, the integrity of ways your expectancy? Remember, please, who being innocent has ever perished? And where have the straight ones ever been cut off? According to what I have seen, those who plow wickedness and sow suffering reap the same. Through the breath of HalleluYah they perish, and through the wind of his nostrils they are consumed. What is HalleluYah in verse 9 translated in English?
Just God.
Just God? Okay. The roaring of the lion and the voice of the fierce lion, but the teeth of the young lion shall be broken. An old lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. And unto me a word was secretly brought, and my ear received a little of it. Amid thoughts from visions of the night, when deep sleep falls on men, fear came upon me, and trembling, causing my bones to shake greatly. Then a spirit passed before my face, the hair on my body stood up. It stood still, but I could not discern its appearance. A form was before my eyes, silence. Then a voice I heard. Is mortal man more righteous than HalleluYah? Is man more clean than his Maker? Look, he puts no trust in his servants, and he charges his messengers with straying. How much more those who dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, who are crushed like a moth? From morning till evening they are beaten down, they perish forever with no one regarding. Are not the cords of their tents pulled up? They die without wisdom. Chapter 5. Call out, please. Is there anyone to answer you? And to which of the Kodashim would you turn? Kodashim is saints? Or what is that? Chapter 5, verse 1.
It says, cry for help, but will anyone answer you? Which of the angels will help you?
The angels, okay. Alright. For wrath kills the fool, and envy slays the simple. I myself have seen the fool taking root, but suddenly his home was cursed. His sons are far from safety, and they are crushed in the gate, with no one to deliver. The hungry eat up his harvest, taking it even from the thorns, and the snare snaps up their wealth. For evil does not come from the dust, nor does trouble spring from the ground. For man is born for trouble, and the sparks fly upward. But as for me, I would seek El, and I would submit my case to Elohim, who is doing great and unsearchable deeds, innumerable wonders, who is giving rain on the earth's face, and is sending waters on the field's face, to put the lowly on high, and those who mourn shall be lifted to safety, thwarting the schemes of the crafty, so that their hands do not work effectively, catching the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of schemers are swept away. By day they encounter darkness, and at noon they grope as in the night. But he saves the needy from the sword of their mouth, from the clutches of the strong. Thus the poor have expectancy, and unrighteousness shuts their mouth. Look, Baruch, blessed is the man whom Eloah reproves, so do not despise the discipline of El Shaddai. For he bruises, but he binds up. He smites, but his hands heal. In 6 distresses he delivers you, and in 7 no evil strikes you. In scarcity of food he shall redeem you from death, and in battle from the power of the sword. When the tongue scourges, you are shielded, and you have no fear when destruction comes. At destruction and at starvation you laugh, and you have no fear of the beasts of the earth. For your covenant is with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with you. And you shall know that your tent is in peace, and shall visit your tent and not sin, and shall know that your seed are many, and your offspring like the grass of the earth. You shall come to the grave in ripe old age, like the stacking of grain in its season. Look, this we have searched out, it is so. Hear it and know for yourself. And that concludes chapter 5. That is day 4, I believe we're on. Yep, thanks for spending time with me. Hope you're enjoying reading, listening to God's Word as much as I am. God bless, and see you tomorrow.